And so I was writing this essay, and I would like get a paragraph or two in, then delete it and start over. And then I started to like kind of try and find different ways of writing this essay. And then it became like my obsession to like get this sort of thing explained clearly to people. But it wasn't working. And while I was working on this essay and trying to get it to be coherent, I noticed this book, The Weather by Lisa Robertson, on my bookshelf. I don't actually know who gave it to me or where it came from. It just sort of appeared. And I had heard people mention her, and so I picked it up and started reading it, and it just like kind of sort of turned a switch in my brain. And for some reason I started writing this essay again, and it changed completely. And then it grew, and then it became its own project altogether. And then it became a poem. It's not an essay anymore, or it's like some weird in-between thing. But I'm actually going to read that instead of the thing I originally made. And I hope that's okay. But I think I don't know, I like it better. So I'm going to start with reading Lisa's book, or a piece from Lisa's book. It's called The Weather. It's pretty much her noticing the weather and just sort of like watching everything go by and like leveling all experience from like it's hot and cold to like, you know, like the really crucial kernels of existence. So I'm gonna read Tuesday. It's every day of the week, and I'm gonna read Tuesday. So Tuesday. Let's hear for Tuesday. Yeah. All right. Thank you for clapping for Tuesday. Okay, so this is it'll probably take me like 6 minutes or so. It's one of those meditative things. So just get into it. You know, just like get into it. Days heap upon us, all plain, all clouds except a narrow opening at the top of the sky. All cloudy except a narrow opening at the bottom of the sky with others smaller. All cloudy except a narrow opening at the bottom of the sky. All cloudy except a narrow opening at the top of the sky. All cloudy, all cloudy, all cloudy. Except one large opening with others smaller. And once in the clouds. Days heap upon us. Where is our anger? And the shades darker than the plain part, and darker at the top than the bottom. But darker at the bottom than the top. Days heap upon us. Where's tea grace? But darker at the bottom than the top. Days heap upon us. Where's Christine? Broken on the word culture. But darker at the bottom than the top. Days heap upon us. Where's Valerie? Pulling hard air into her lung. Life crumbles open, but darker at the bottom than the top. Days heap upon us. Where's Patty? Unlearning each thing. Red sky crumbles open. This is the only way to expand the heart. But darker at the top than the bottom. Days heap upon us. Where is Kevin? Abolishing the word love. The radical wing crumbles open. The scorn is not anticipated. We have given our surface. Darker at the top than the bottom. Except one large opening with others smaller. Except one large opening with others smaller. Gradually, days heap upon us. Where is Patricia? In the dream of obedience and authority, the genitalia crumbles open. It is only ever a flickering. We never worship grief. It has been stuccoed over. Half cloud, half plain. Half cloud, half plain. Half plain. One in the plain part and one in the clouds. Days heap upon us. Where is Jane? Looking for food. Hunger crumbles open. All this is built on her loveliness. We have fallen into a category. Love subsidized our descent. Streaky clouds at the bottom of the sky. Days heap upon us. Where is Mary? In the extreme brevity of history of parody, rage crumbles open. It felt like dense fog. What is fact is not necessarily human. Memory anticipates. Authority flows into us like a gel. We cross the border to confront the ideal. Streaky cloudy at the top of the sky, days heap upon us. Where is grace? Spent in sadness. The underground crumbles open. There is no transgression possible. We publicly mobilize the horror of our emotion. It is the phalanx. The clouds darker than the plain part or blue part, and darker at the top than the bottom. Days heap upon us. Where is Gloria? Pushing down laughter. Utopia crumbles open. It is an emotion similar to animals sporting. We won't plagiarize shame. Like this, we solve herself. The clouds darker than the plain part and darker at the top than the bottom. The clouds darker at the plain part and darker at the top than the bottom. The clouds lighter on the plain part and darker at the top than the bottom. The clouds lighter at the plain part and darker at the bottom than the top. The clouds lighter than the plain part and darker at the top than the bottom. The light of the clouds lighter and the darks darker than the plain part and darker at the top than the bottom. The same as the last but darker at the bottom than the top. The same as the last but darker at the bottom than the top. Days heap upon us. Where is Violet? Walking without flinching. Doubt crumbles open. It is not a value, but a disappearance. We come upon the city in our body. The same as the last. The same as the last. The same as the last. The tint once over in the plain part, and twice in the clouds. Days heap upon us. Where is Emily? Out in all weather. Dignity crumbles open. There is not even a utopia. We would have to mention all the possible causes of her death. The tint once over the openings and twice in the clouds. Days heap upon us. Where is Olymp? Going without rest. The polis crumbles open. There is no different. Sorry, I got lost here. Oh, I read it right. There is no different than slow war, which is weird grammar. The tint twice in the opening and once in the clouds. Days heap upon us. Where is Michelle? Homesick for anger. Midnight crumbles open. The tint twice in the openings. The tint twice over. Days heap upon us. Where is Bernadine? At description. The tint twice over. Days heap upon us. Where is Kathleen? The tint twice. The clouds darker than the plain part and darker at the top and the bottom. The clouds lighter than the plain part and darker at the top and the bottom. The lights of the clouds lighter. The others smaller. The same as the last. The same as the last. The tint twice in the openings and once in the clouds. Days heap upon us. The tint twice over. Days heap upon us. With others smaller. With others smaller. All right, well that's Tuesday. Okay, so it's hard to say like what about that poem really like grabbed my attention, but I think the problem that I was having when I was writing this horrible essay was that I was trying to tell a story, you know? I was trying to like look at the pieces I had made and like figure out what the narrative of them was, and it just wasn't working. It just wasn't making any sense. And when I read that, I feel like it just took a whole story and just like flattened it out and sort of made it just like this continuous like cloud passing of like experience. And I guess, I don't know, maybe that's what happened, maybe something else, but so I'll read what I wrote. And it's basically me trying to figure out what my art is doing. It's me like writing to the visual pieces, which I did bring, but it wouldn't work with the projector, so you'll just have to imagine them. The project's called Night Selfie, and it's that. It's me taking photos of like text in frames in weird places and trying to find all the different boundaries of that. So I guess I'll just read it. Night selfie in the paradise of capital. The flash starts a rupture. Filter or no filter. Automation is glitching. Beneath the transmission, a psychic emergence. Vibrations of white people twerking. Encoded and streaming. Active and learning. Self-medicating. Like me, follow me, favorite me. New normal selfie. Endless desire selfie. All watched over by machines of loving grace selfie. The flash starts a rupture. filter or no filter. You'd look amazing reading this. Night selfie is a question. How did you get here? What brought you here? What is your shelter? Night selfie is scalable, beyond human experience. Old skin, new skin, black skin, blue skin, a riot cop shatters. The selfie is within us. You should tweet this. You look good in this. Don't experience this. Night selfie is the male gaze punctured, roofied and ruptured. Where is my intern? Lapping the fault line. Where is my intern? Aping the colony, twerking the gadgets. Where is my intern? Cracking screens with crystals, giving back to privilege. Where is my intern? Spectating the empire, feruling the marketplace. The perfect status awaits you at the end of this poem. The weather is static. I see my reflection in it. The future recedes in it. Light pans inwardly toward it, non-monogamously, latently in it. Where is my intern? Night selfie in the summer fever. No wind, nowhere. Tasting the lack of it. Pleasure passing through it. Insects dying gracefully, expensively in it. Hungry is thirsty. Desire is empty. Night selfie drinking the drought. Night selfie taking me on dates. Night selfie sleeping with myself. The flash makes a rupture. Tilted and thunder. Laugh out loud wonder. Ambulance and filter. Ambulance and filter. Drowned in the metadata. We're all out of rap names. Wow, maybe I'm an okay poet. Night selfies take themselves. Like setting my bed on fire. I fuck me in the ashes. I use contraception. No more Joel Gregory's. My money, my choice. Night selfie is the morning after. Night selfie walking me home. Night selfie storing my data. Night selfie reminding me. Night selfie flashing a rupture. Okay, I'll stop talking around it. Watch me work this one out. Watch me colonize our trauma. Watch me redact and delete. Watch me undulate myself, kissing myself, holding myself, as if you were somebody else. Watch me say stop, 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 stop. You stop. Night selfie. What if he comes back to the house? What if he brings the rape back? What if he says something accurate? What if he burns down the house? What if we're in the house when he comes back to the house to bring the rape back and says something accurate to burn down the house? It's not impossible. It's not impossible to imagine. He gesticulates wildly nightly. He festers and sweats. He pulls the numbers out of words. He drinks and he wants. He drinks and he wants. I drink and I want. I want and I worry. He calculates and he wants. He festers and drinks. He wants and I want. I want and he wants. What if he's not? What if he's not the monster? What if he's not the monster I haunt me with to distance him from me? I mean, it happens all the time. It's always happening. How many monsters are there? Who else is a monster? Night selfie shaking me to sleep. Night selfie underwater. Night selfie coming empty. Good night, Blood Moon. Good night, Oakland Commune. Good night, Broken Bar Train. Good night, Mystical. Good night, Capital. Good night, Big Data Pulsing. Good night, Water Basin. Good night, Radical Optimism. Good night, Community Accountability Process. Good night, Broken Windows. Good night, Gods and Masters. Good night, Feminists with baseball bats. Good night, Ankle Bone. Good night, Femur Bone. Good night, Political Agenda Bone. Good night, Summer. Good night, Blister. Good night, Brother. Good night, Sister. Good night, Night Selfie. Thanks.